I'm Jordan Blaquera, and this is another one of my tales from the scale. Just got out of yoga, and on my way to yoga, I wanted to just abandon my yoga class. Go to Starbucks, go read a book. Didn't want to go to yoga class, but I thought that it would be good for me. So I wound up going to yoga class. I was probably about 3 or 4 minutes late. I set up in the back of the room. Usually I'm in the front of the room. For the first half of the class, it's an hour class, I was weeping my way through the class, trying to be inconspicuous. I think I eventually went into child's pose, which is with your knees bent and forehead down on the mat. And so it was very interior, reflective kind of pose. And my face was hidden, and I didn't have to feel like people were aware of what was going on with me, or that I was bumming people out or freaking them out or making them concerned for me. I had an internal dialogue going on of, I'm really working on trying to bring a loving energy to myself in whatever I'm going through. At first, it was just, I love you emotion. It was just this ball of weepy emotion. I couldn't quite articulate it. So it started with, I love you emotion, because I knew I was feeling emotion, even though I couldn't really distinguish or articulate it very well. So I said, I love you emotion. I love you lump in my throat. Then it sort of changed to, I see that you are really overwhelmed. I see that it's hard not to know what to do. I see that you don't feel that you know what to do with your mom. It was like how I would talk to a child, to a best friend, trying to be loving in that way, where I certainly would not want to dismiss what that person was feeling, but I wouldn't want to add to like a victim mentality. I wouldn't want to add to like, oh yes, it's just life is so hard. How can I offer compassion and understanding in a way that walks that razor's edge between compassion and understanding, but not necessarily agreeing or adding to the suffering and adding to a sense of being a victim. Maybe that sounds harsh. The way that I found myself to it in that yoga class was just, I could say, I see that. And I understand. I understand that it's overwhelming. I understand that you feel overwhelmed right now. I see that you are suffering. I said that to myself. I see that you are suffering. I see you're suffering. I see that you feel responsible for another human being, and that feels hard. This is my mom. I don't even know if I've made that clear. I I see that you feel resentment. I understand that you don't really want to be dealing with Alzheimer's. I love you, grief. I see that you're grieving. It was so many things. It was such a cocktail this morning. So that's the flavor of the way that I was talking to myself. It was very slow paced. The emotion, the weeping came in waves. I was grateful that it wasn't sobbing, so that I didn't draw attention to myself, but that I could experience what I was experiencing. It was a slow process for me. And then at a little over halfway through the class, I kind of felt like either I want to leave or I want to join the class. Like I want to move my body, move this emotion. Energy in motion is what emotion has been described as. So I did that, and I wound up doing a pose that I normally have to assist myself with, the best that I've ever done it. It was kind of interesting. Anyway, and I joined the class, and I was not weepy really for that second half, little less than second half of the class. So I just drove here to do this check-in with you, and I passed a donut shop. Like, damn, a donut sounds so good. And I wanted to go to Starbucks and have hot chocolate before that. I just want something warm and cozy and comforting. And then I passed the donut shop. Like last week, I would think about something like, oh, a piece of chocolate sounds good, which I kind of went and ate a lot last week. I might have a fleeting thought like, that won't really help. And I was like, so what? I don't care. I want the chocolate anyway, or I want this food anyway. And the donut this morning was the first time where I was like, this weeping that I've been doing, this on edge, this feeling like I don't have my space at home, this feeling like I don't have anything in the reserve tank. And it's getting harder to deal with the Alzheimer's. My mom's behaviors are more than they have been. A donut can't really help me with that. I mean, I did a lot of extracurricular eating in the last week, and none of it did anything really effective to help me with what I'm going through and feeling like I don't want to be doing this. What is enough? I'm not giving my mom enough. I should be giving her more. I don't want to give her any more. I'm starting to suffer by all of this. And a donut is not going to help that. It's not going to address any of that. I hope you'll do your best to be kind to yourself and to offer yourself love, your own loving attention when you're tender. And that's what I was this morning. That's what I still am. When you're tender, I think what we want most is our own loving gaze to ourselves. We want the love that only we can give ourselves. And I'm just figuring out how to do that. What does that really mean? It's like I'm in philosophically with that. But what does that mean when you want to run from yoga class, but you want to run from your house and you want to run toward a cup of hot chocolate? What does it mean when you have these serious things in your life, when you have stuff like a mother with Alzheimer's who's getting worse, and when your energetic savings account is getting depleted? What does loving yourself really look like? What does it look like? And when it seems like it's means someone else is going to suffer, like my mother, do you make that choice? Okay, I love myself, and I'm willing for her to suffer based on that choice. I'm willing for there to be consequences for my mom based on that choice that I've made for myself. That's the vice that I find myself in. But push is coming to shove in this situation. And so those questions I want to answer for myself, because I don't want to go down with this ship. So, a lot going on. So I just got ready to leave, to go home, and actually felt so much better, and like I could handle going home. And I saw the time. It's 11:10. It's within my eating window. And I was like, because I had a momentary thing like, am I going to go to Starbucks? And I was like, wait, what time is it? What time is it? Oh, it's 11:10. Hallelujah. I'm going home. I'm going directly to make my protein smoothie and have breakfast. Do not pass, what is it? Do not pass go. Do not get out of jail. I don't know. Whatever that Monopoly phrase is. That's my plan. I'm not going to go to a donut shop. I'm not going to go to Starbucks. Glory, hallelujah. It's after 11 a.m. And I was so relieved and happy to see that I didn't have to wait an hour to eat. And yes, I am hungry. I would say my hunger level is -4. So I'll be going home and eating. For access to all of my Tales from the Scale, go to mytalesfromthescale.com.